Okay. So I'm on that path of just like, I'm lazy. I don't feel like recording something and then putting it up. So I'd rather just say it out live. That way it's easier for me to get my points out. I've seen Cope over the past week, in amongst all this is that, and basically the gist is this is, well, Russia doesn't need the United States. They don't need them. They don't need SWIFT and all this. They can sell oil and gas to India and get funding from China. And that's how they're going to do it. I I'm going to say that's cope. I thought about this for a couple days, and I'm sorry. I think it's complete cope to be like, "Oh yeah, well, all Russia needs after all this is just India and China. That's all they need." Um I don't really believe that. Because the thing is Russia is still tied down in Syria, having to provide forces. They still have folks in like Venezuela, stuff like that. In Venezuela, of course, they've had some protests as well, this and that. India hasn't really said, I mean, let's look at it this way. So between BRICS, okay, so Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Hold on, let me let the cat out. Okay, hold on. You can go out. There you go. Go ahead. All right. How's it going, Wicked Energy? How's it going, 21st Century Longest? I'll try to be quick about this, but okay, so between Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. Let's try to break this down. Now, like I say, don't take my don't take my commentary as, oh my goodness, this is so much better. Think for yourselves, research it yourselves, and say you're full of shit. And like I say, I welcome that and say you're full of shit. And most of the time, I'll be like, all right, okay, but yeah, what's going on, Duchy of Burgundy? What's going on, Temujin? So let's go ahead and talk more about this. So Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa. But I just mentioned Russia, India, and China because basically Brazil, what does Brazil have to offer other than steel? Because as far as I know, correct me where I'm wrong, you can go ahead and find details, but one of the largest places in the world that basically kind of, for lack of a better term, refurbishes steel. Basically, they take all this scrap metal and they remelt it and they, get out all the impurities and they sell it back out. Big booty bitches, yeah. Yeah. But with Brazil, that's where a lot of, steel is redone. Is refurbished, made anew, and it's sent back out because like I said, people don't really they don't mine, iron ore which is turned into steel. It's not really done, it's recycled for the most part. And Brazil provides a lot of that. There are other things as well, I'm sure. I mean, it's the same thing I'm sure with Venezuela, with deposits of some rare earth metals as well. Yeah. Brazil, really not prostitutes? Eh, I guess if that's your thing, I'll put it that way. So there's that. Like I said, but Venezuela is it's kind of a part-time thing. And as far as I know, Russia does still has Venezuela kind of in a headlock, but yeah. But at the cost of STDs. Yeah, exactly. Russia itself, obviously, oil and gas. Okay. They do have, like I say, I'll put it this way, is I'm going to be very careful before I make the judgment. There's a lot of folks saying, of course, oh, why is Russia doing so badly and all this sort of thing. I'm not an expert on military stuff, but I think that Russia is trying to be very careful, this and that, and I'm just gonna be careful about what I say. So let's move on to India. Well, what does India provide? Well, India in general is they're trying to make it the new sweatshop of the world, but there are problems with that. And of course, like I said, that leads us kind of to China. Okay. And China, of course, I think has been very tepid in their view. And I would think after what has occurred with Russia going into Ukraine, I imagine the Chinese are kind of like, let's slow our roll. Did you see the Commil Twitter thread about Russia? Really great read. Oh, okay. I can't say I have. But and of course South Africa. Well, what does South Africa really provide? I mean, they do provide weapons. I will give it that. That's one of the biggest legacies. South Africa does send a lot of weapons and bombs and stuff to Saudi Arabia. And of course, Saudi Arabia has said, basically, yeah, we're not going to stop making money with Russia. So, like I say, the propaganda is very strong against Russia. And of course, people are saying, oh, well, this strengthens the West, it strengthens NATO. And of course, the contrarian view would be, well, I'd rather join Russia than join, gay, right? The gay American empire. It's like, I understand. Believe me, I do. But to constantly take up the contrarian take, I'm sure it gets tiring. And when you see the other folks that take the contradictory take, the, contrarian take, you're kind of like, oh, these are the motherfuckers that I'm with? Oh, shit, And I'm sure that's tiring. And I think that's why you see people like Richard Spencer, of course, trying to go off and say now he supports Ukraine and all this sort of thing. And, it's all superficial, really. It's all surface level. But I think there's a real, potential to try to carve something out from, this Western hegemonic system. And that's what people really support, right? It's not so much that people support the invasion of Ukraine. I don't think anybody's going to fully go on to that and just say, yeah, it's cool to kill people and stuff like that and to kill Ukrainians. I'm cautious before I do that. Yeah. Person Twitter is pretty good. Oh, I think I follow this guy. Yeah, Spencer's port is weird and vague. Huh? Okay. I'm just listening for a moment. Sport weird. He just supports the West's reaction to the situation. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'm not going to make fun of whoever loses. Rather be. Yes.
Hi.
What can we do for you?
Talk to you?
Just
come see me when you're done.
Okay. All right. We'll try to wrap this up quickly, folks. So, yeah. Yeah, I think I've followed this guy before. I read his. I saw a pretty good thread where he was talking about the Chechens, I think, which was a pretty good thread. If I'm thinking of the right guy. But anywho, yeah, I'm going to, my bad. Yeah. I'm going to make fun of whoever loses, rather be gay, NATO, or Russia. Yeah. He thinks it will unite the West, even though this really isn't good for the West at all. No, it isn't. Like I say, I'm sorry, when George Soros takes the side of the West, you're like, oh. Or when whomever else, is an enemy, you're like, I'm not going to join that side. But I think it's one of those things where it's just like, I think even the Chinese are kind of like, I don't know. Like I say, I haven't looked at CGTN. It's been a while since I've seen stuff like that. Let me take a look randomly here at CGTN America and see what they say. Yeah. What will Russia do next in Ukraine? Oh, wow. Okay. America Latina Ahora Salida de Ucrania. Oh, wow. Okay, so they got, yeah. Ukraine crisis, Putin's moment of silence. So they're taking, just by looking at, yeah, Latin America now fleeing Ukraine. China's ambassador to U.S. gets the crowd laughing. Ambassador Qingong toward the crowd that he gives his congratulations to the Rams Super Bowl win, but how, whichever. Chinese versus Western democracy. Yeah, Syria joins, Belt and Road Initiative. I've heard it. I heard that. The thing is, Syria is just desperate to be accepted. But yeah, I think China, it sounds like, is taking at least CGTN America is one thing. But yeah, CGTN. Let me see here. I'm just looking at the titles. I'm not even looking deep into it yet. CGTN reported witnesses shelling damage in Donetsk. Okay, so it sounds like I say, what are the latest events of the Russia-Ukraine conflict? Okay. UN draft resolution not in line with China's position. Yeah. So I just think that they're taking different, There's Latin Americans in Ukraine. Oh, yeah. There's Indians in Ukraine as well. This is one thing that people have tried to use as a propaganda piece, but Russians have helped to get Indians out of Ukraine. Something like 20,000 Indian students are in Ukraine. And slowly but surely they're getting released and being sent back to India. But yeah. I saw Shanghai News recently. They were criticizing American for causing problem by allowing NATO over expansion. Yeah. Yeah, it's a messy thing. It's a messy thing. It's been a while since I've seen that, and I'll try to listen somewhat to their takes on it and see. But yeah, I think China's just taking up more of a centrist position and trying to take up maybe more of the Donetsk case with, the Azov battalion and, I should say Azov regiment attacking Donetsk and Lugansk. And I think that's probably the smarter route to stay on message, I mean, you would think that the Russians would try to do some propaganda to say, hey, look at what, the Azov battalion has done. Focus on that. At the very least, show them the footage of, the SS, of guys dressed in SS uniforms marching down the street and whatnot. Do that and show people this is what it's about, and forcing people to have to say something. But I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. It is a shame they won't. Yeah, it's hypocrisy. It is. They won't talk about Yemen being bombed or the Palestinians. Yeah, they should have. Yeah, they should have. I mean, there's, like I say, I'm going to be very careful because I'm a contrarian myself. Yeah, now they're banning RT. Exactly. Yep. Like I say, we saw, of course, folks saying, talking about, what do you think about the argument that not 1 inch eastward unwritten promise by NATO was the context within a united Germany since the Warsaw Pact still existed? Unwritten promise by NATO was a context within a united Germany. Yeah, I saw Destiny say that recently. Yeah. Well, I'm going to think carefully about this. Unwritten promise by NATO was in the context within a united Germany. Well, I think with NATO, I think with the united Germany, you had a sense of kind of, because I'm going to give a spicy take here. I think that Germany and Russia have historically had a lot of connection. And I think that, say what you will, but I think that the GDR, for all the issues that it had, was probably the stronger of the Soviet satellite countries. In general. Like I say, you could say that's probably not true or whichever. But I think in terms of military power and indeed in terms of cohesion, I think, the GDR had strong forces. Whether it's the NVA, and I want to say that not to confuse it with the North Vietnamese Army, but the Nationale Volksarmee, or the Air Force, or whichever, I think that there was a strong force there. So, of course, they wanted that, within the United Germany since the Warsaw Pact still existed. Yeah. But I think that's going to be my take. I don't know if that answered the question, but I think that it's just more a sense of, NATO. Yeah, all of Europe had connections. We were all ruled by the same extended family for a long time. Yeah. That is true. Yeah. Yeah. That's fair. Yeah, all Europe did have connections. Yeah, we were all ruled by the same extended family for a long time. Yeah. Maybe I'm just getting sleepy, or maybe I'm just stupid. That's probably the former more so than the latter. But yeah, I think my take of it is that the whole idea of a united Germany was just more of a, we need, you know, we need the efficiency of Germany maybe to provide, a counter and to join the bulwark, I guess. But yeah, is the Western elite retarded? Yeah, they are. Look like blood brothers. Well, yeah, they are. They were. Yeah, they did. Yeah, they're pushing neutral actors towards China and Russia. Yeah, they are. Well, I think it's more of a sense of give them an excuse to attack them as well. So I think to a point they are retarded, but they are also just bloodthirsty and want to destroy stuff. I mean, that's my view of it. Like I said, maybe I'm getting in way over my head, which isn't far from the truth. I'm going to put it that way. It's not far from the truth that I'm kind of I've kind of gone out of my depth here a little bit, but yeah, that's my view of it anyway. I'm getting kind of sleepy, and I also got to make dinner pretty soon, so that's my excuse anyway. Yep. You think most people hate Russia right now? Yeah. Hey, there you go. Yeah. Yeah. You have to remember most people that seek power are psychopaths. Oh, absolutely. That is true. That is true as well. They are. They're driven by this sense of, power, this and that. And the smart money, they don't want to be noticed. The smart money doesn't want to be noticed. The smart money just wants to make their money and, stay out of the spotlight. But to answer your question, no. I think that they just hate Putin. I think that's the reality of it. They just hate Putin. To say that they hate Russia as a thing, no. I think they just hate Putin. And I think that's a very specific, distinction. Matter the virtue signal out a lot of Europe will still need natural gas and oil, and who will give that to them? Well, yeah, well wishes. No, no, they will just sink back to Russia in the end. Yeah, they probably will in some form, because I don't think they want to get expensive U.S. LNG. I don't think they want to get that. So, man. Mm. But I think that's my take on it anyway. Is it that good? Is it that interesting? I don't know. I think I'm gonna try to wait. I know it's gonna go against my narrative, but I think I'm gonna try to wait a bit more before I say something else about Russia and Ukraine, because I think that's a lot of, like I say, of course, I'm gonna say it because everybody else has fog of war, but the also immense amount of misinfo and disinfo that's out there. The A lot of videos, of course, coming out without much context, where it's just like, you see convoys being destroyed, you see all this. Yeah, I saw a Russian store vandalized in my town. Oh, damn. Yeah, and like I say, we've heard, you know, I think it's interesting, of course, that now we have this anti-Russian sentiment that really does exist. I mean, yeah, it's existed in the Baltics and Poland and whatnot for generations, but now we're beginning to see it more in the West as well. Yeah, yeah, that is a good question. Yeah, what country do you live in? Yeah, I'm kind of curious myself. I didn't want to ask that because I'm kind of blunt, but yeah, that's we saw that happen in D.C. But yeah, yeah, I really like that Coach Red Pill video you made. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's crazy how they're trying to kill Coach Red Pill now. Yeah, exactly. Well, Coach Red Pill, I mean, he just goofy. But yeah, the country will provide context to what kind of person would attack a Russian store. Yeah, yeah, it would. Yeah. Oh boy, it's feeling awkward. There's a lot of dead air, and I do have to make dinner pretty soon. So I guess I'll leave it at that, ladies and gentlemen. Man, it's pretty fucking weird how Redditor and Twitter fags are cheering on war crimes if it's pro Ukraine. Yeah. Oh, North Carolina. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. If it's America, it's a liberal. If it's former Soviet bloc, probably a little far right. Yeah, exactly. It probably is a lib. The thing is, I'm surprised because a lot of libs are just cowards, you know. But it's surprising to see that it occurred in D.C. and now apparently, something at least has occurred in North Carolina, North Kakalaki. So, yeah, I know my mom's just waiting for me to be like, okay, let's discuss what's going on. So, I do have to wrap it up, folks. I'm just gonna go ahead and be blunt. Hopefully, got something out of this. But yeah, Vosh fan destroys Russian. Yeah. Oh Lord, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Take care and peace to y'all as well. Let's go ahead and just wrap this baby up. So see you later. Goodbye.